What if I told you the object sitting in your bathroom right now, the toothbrush, is part of a story that stretches back thousands of years, through ancient deserts, royal courts, global trade, deadly wars, and even the invention of electricity? Toothbrushes aren't just plastic sticks with bristles. They are proof of something deeper, that humans have always wanted clean teeth, fresh breath, and the confidence to smile. But the toothbrush didn't always look like what we use today. Long before soft bristles and minty toothpaste, people used twigs, animal hair, feathers, crushed shells, and even powder made of burned bones. So today, we're going on a journey through time, from the earliest civilizations that chewed sticks for dental hygiene, to the rise of the first bristle toothbrush in China, to the Industrial Revolution that mass-produced brushes for the modern world, to the modern electric toothbrush that almost feels like a tiny robot for your mouth. This is the history of toothbrushes, from chewing sticks to electric power. Let's begin. The idea of cleaning your teeth is not modern. In fact, humans have been caring about oral hygiene for over 5,000 years. Archaeologists have found evidence of tooth-cleaning tools in the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, China, Greece, Rome. People didn't have toothbrushes, but they understood something important. Bad teeth meant pain, infection, and sometimes death. Before modern medicine, tooth infections could spread to the bloodstream and become fatal. So cleaning your mouth wasn't about beauty, it was survival. Chewing sticks, the first toothbrush, the most famous early toothbrush, wasn't really a brush at all. It was a chewing stick, a thin twig that people chewed until the end frayed like bristles. This worked in two ways. 1. Mechanical, cleaning the fibers scraped plaque off teeth. 2. Natural antiseptic properties. Some plants killed bacteria. Chewing sticks were especially popular in the Middle East and parts of Africa and Asia. And here's a surprising fact. They are still used today. One of the most well-known chewing sticks is called miswak, made from the Salvadora persica tree, commonly used in Islamic cultures. Miswak isn't just tradition, it's scientifically effective. It contains natural chemicals that reduce bacteria, strengthen enamel, and freshen breath. So even without modern tools, ancient people were already practicing advanced dental care. Ancient tooth powders. But they didn't stop at sticks. Many cultures made tooth-cleaning powders from whatever they had. In ancient Egypt, for example, people used powders made from crushed eggshells, ash, pumice, ox hooves. The Romans made powders from crushed bones, oyster shells, charcoal, tree bark. Was it pleasant? Not really. Some mixtures were so abrasive they probably damaged enamel. But again, people did what they could, because the desire for clean teeth has always existed. The toothbrush, as we know it, was only a matter of time. The first real toothbrush that resembles ours today appeared in China, around the Tang Dynasty, roughly the 7th to 9th century. This brush had a handle made of bamboo or bone, bristles made from stiff pig hair, usually from wild boars. The bristles were tied into holes, drilled into the handle. This was revolutionary, because it created a tool specifically designed to scrub teeth. But there was one issue. Boar hair bristles were extremely stiff. They cleaned teeth, but they could also damage gums and cause bleeding. Still, the concept spread. Trade routes like the Silk Road helped carry the idea of the toothbrush into Europe and beyond. And by the time Europe started adopting the toothbrush, things got very interesting. Compared to parts of Asia and the Middle East, Europe was slower to adopt toothbrushes. For a long time, Europeans relied on cloth strips rubbed on teeth, toothpicks made of metal or wood, sponges, salt rubs, herbal rinses. Dental hygiene existed, but it wasn't widespread, and in many places, oral care was a luxury more common among wealthier people. Why did Europe lag behind? A few reasons. 1. Limited access to materials like bamboo and boar bristles. 2. Different cultural norms. Tooth cleaning wasn't a daily habit. 3. Poor understanding of bacteria. They didn't know the cause of decay. 4. Sugar explosion. Yes, sugar. When sugar became more available in Europe through colonial trade, tooth decay skyrocketed. It was common for people, even royalty, to lose teeth early. And here's something wild. Some wealthy Europeans used tooth blackening as a fashion statement, either because decay was common or because dark teeth implied you could afford sugar. Dental health was messy. But eventually, toothbrushes became part of European life, thanks to one unexpected factor: prison. One of the most important moments in toothbrush history happened in England, around 1780. A man named William Addis was in prison. Legend says he was disturbed by the poor oral hygiene of inmates who cleaned their teeth with rags mixed with soot or salt. So Addis improvised. He took a small bone, drilled holes into it, collected bristles, possibly from a pig or horse, and tied them through the holes. And there it was, a brush with a handle and bristles very close to the modern toothbrush. When he was released, he didn't just move on with his life. He started manufacturing toothbrushes. His company became incredibly successful, and it helped popularize toothbrushes throughout England. Toothbrushes were no longer handmade for the rich. They were becoming a consumer product. But toothbrushes were still expensive and not widely used by everyone. That would change with industrialization and war. The 1800s transformed toothbrushes forever. Factories allowed mass production. Instead of slow, handmade brushes, manufacturers could create hundreds or thousands. This made toothbrushes cheaper and more accessible. But toothbrushes weren't yet something most people used daily. Dental hygiene was still inconsistent, especially among poorer communities. The big shift came during the 20th century, because governments and militaries realized something. Bad teeth weakened soldiers. In the early 1900s, especially during World War I and World War II, militaries began enforcing oral hygiene. Why? Because soldiers with tooth infections couldn't fight. Armies needed strong, healthy troops. So toothbrushes became standard-issue gear in many forces, especially in the United States. Many young men learned the habit of brushing daily while in the military, and when they returned home, they kept brushing. They taught their families. They passed the habit to children. In a strange way, war helped spread dental hygiene worldwide. But there was still one major problem with toothbrushes at the time: natural bristles. Animal hair wasn't ideal. It collected bacteria, fell out easily, and didn't dry well. Then science entered the story, and it changed toothbrushes forever. In 1935, a material called nylon was invented. Yes, the same nylon used in clothing and rope. And just a few years later, in 1938, the first toothbrush with nylon bristles was released in the United States. This was a game changer, because nylon was more hygienic, more durable, less likely to absorb water, cheaper to produce, easier to shape and soften. No more stiff boar hair. No more bristles falling out quickly. No more strange odors. Nylon toothbrushes became the standard almost immediately, and from this point onward, toothbrush innovation accelerated. We started getting softer bristles, different head sizes, angled handles, multi-level bristle patterns, grip improvements, branding, and colorful designs. But the biggest leap forward was still ahead: electricity. The electric toothbrush might feel like a very modern invention, but the first versions date back much further than most people think. The first electric toothbrush was developed in 1954 in Switzerland. It was called the Broxident. Originally, it wasn't marketed as a luxury gadget. It was designed for people who struggled with brushing, patients with limited mobility, people with braces, individuals with arthritis, those recovering from surgery. Electric toothbrushes helped these people clean their teeth more effectively. Eventually, they entered mainstream consumer markets. The Broxident later appeared in the U.S. and gained attention. However, early electric toothbrushes weren't perfect. They were bulky. They often needed wall power. They weren't as convenient. But as battery technology improved, electric toothbrushes became smaller, cheaper, and better. And with that, brushing transformed from a simple routine into something high-tech. Today's electric toothbrushes come in many forms: oscillating rotating heads, sonic vibration brushes, ultrasonic technology, pressure sensors, built-in timers, Bluetooth tracking, smartphone apps, multiple brushing modes. Some toothbrushes now tell you when you're brushing too hard, when you missed a section, when to replace the brush head, how long you brushed, and even how well you brush overall. Your toothbrush is basically becoming a miniature dentist assistant. Sonic versus oscillating. Modern electric toothbrushes typically fall into two popular categories. 1. Oscillating. Rotating. These brush heads rotate back and forth rapidly, often paired with pulses. 2. Sonic. These vibrate at high speeds, creating fluid movement that helps disrupt plaque beyond the bristles. Both can be effective, but the key factor isn't always the brush. It's whether people use it correctly, because no toothbrush, manual or electric, can help if someone brushes for 20 seconds and quits. But still, it's incredible to think about the evolution, from chewing twigs to a Bluetooth-connected brushing device. And yet, toothbrush history isn't only about design. It's also about culture, social change, and even marketing. Brushing wasn't always a universal daily habit. In many places, it became normal through public health campaigns, school education programs, dental associations, advertising. Especially in the 1900s, toothbrush companies heavily marketed the idea that brushing was essential for attractiveness, romance, success, confidence, social acceptance. Advertisements linked clean teeth to being modern and civilized. Toothpaste brands did the same. They didn't just sell products, they sold identity. A healthy smile became a symbol of good character. And eventually, brushing twice a day became a global norm in many countries. But toothbrushes also created new issues. Mainly, plastic waste. Modern toothbrushes are usually made of plastic. And while plastic is durable, that's exactly the problem. Because toothbrushes don't break down easily. Millions, actually billions of toothbrushes are thrown away every year globally. They often end up in landfills, oceans, rivers, wildlife habitats. This has led to a new movement, eco-friendly toothbrushes. Some are made from bamboo handles, recyclable plastics, replaceable heads, biodegradable materials. So while toothbrushes represent progress, they also represent our modern challenges. And now, the future of toothbrushes may include even more advanced technology. The toothbrush may keep evolving in surprising ways. We may soon see toothbrushes that analyze saliva for health markers, detect gum disease early, track plaque buildup, provide real-time AI guidance, integrate with health apps, send reports to dentists. Some prototypes already exist, and the idea of smart dental care is becoming more realistic every year. But here's the interesting part. Even with all this innovation, the goal is the same as it was thousands of years ago. Clean teeth, healthy gums, fresh breath, a confident smile. The tools changed. The human need didn't. So next time you pick up your toothbrush, remember, it's not just a tool. It's the final product of thousands of years of human invention. It began with ancient people chewing twigs in deserts and villages. Then China created the first bristle brush using boar hair. Europe slowly adopted brushing, and one man in prison helped launch modern toothbrush manufacturing. The Industrial Revolution mass-produced toothbrushes. Wars turned brushing into a daily habit. Nylon made toothbrushes cleaner and more durable. Electric toothbrushes brought power into the bathroom. And now toothbrushes are becoming smart devices, part of the digital age. From chewing sticks to electric power, the toothbrush is a quiet symbol of human progress. Because history isn't only written in books. Sometimes it's written in the simplest objects we use every day. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because you never know what everyday object will uncover next.